What's happening, my night god people? Hope y'all are doing well. So I was going back through some old videos on my TikTok from a while back, and I kind of stumbled on this video that I found intriguing because at the time I had kind of assumed or thought that the Anunnaki were actually possibly the Alpha Draconian race. Now I lean more towards humanoid looking like us giants. But when I posted the video of the dragon on the ISS space station, a lot of people were commenting that he was one of the ancient Anunnaki. So there's still a large amount of people who believe that, in fact, the Anunnaki are still the Draconian race. So I guess I'm asking you guys, what do you think? Let me know in the comments after you watch this video. I'm curious to see your replies. Could the Anunnaki actually be the Alpha Draconian race? Could they be reptilian in origin? Let me know what y'all think. And here's the video. History of the Anunnaki, Atlanteans, and Lemurians. In the early 1800s, archaeologists began to uncover a bunch of ancient Mesopotamian tablets. Ancient Mesopotamia, which is modern-day Iraq, housed some of the oldest civilizations in history: the Sumerians, Babylonians, Assyrians, and the Akkadians. And what these tablets said will blow your mind. One of the most popular translations to date is that of Zecharia Sitchin, author and researcher who wrote the book The 12th Planet. Based on his translation of the tablet, he believed an ancient alien race known as the Anunnaki left their planet Nibiru because the atmosphere was burning up. Sometimes called Planet X, Nibiru would rotate around the Earth and get close to us every so many thousand years. So as they passed Earth almost 500,000 years ago, they left their war-torn planet and jumped to Earth. They did this in search of gold because they believed it would replenish their atmosphere too. When the Anunnaki first got here, they landed in the ocean, but established a place called Eridu on land. Eridu translates to home far away. That leads me to believe they established their base in Antarctica pre-Ice Age. Here's Africa, here's Antarctica. Check out the pictures of this recently discovered map of Antarctica with no ice. After establishing their base in Antarctica, the Anunnaki started their gold mines in South Africa. When the gold mines were finally up and running, they built a base on Mars to establish a midway point between Earth and Nibiru. Initially, the Anunnaki were using an ancient alien race known as the Agigi for their labor force. Translated ancient Sumerian text actually shows that the Agigi were believed to be the good gods and the Anunnaki the evil gods. Here, Sumerians portrayed the Agigi as a more human-like hybrid. As you can see here, the Anunnaki are depicted holding the bag. Stay tuned, gonna be good. After a while, these higher beings known as the Agigi got tired of working in the gold mines for the Anunnaki. So the Agigi revolted, and they had a small quarrel between them and the Anunnaki, but essentially, they earned their freedom. It was at this time, I believe, the Agigi staked their claim at Lemuria and Atlantis. Here they were able to establish their own religion and their own belief system. In my previous post about Lemuria, I believe I was mistaken. At one time, I believed the Atlanteans to be the evil alien race, but I was mistaken. They were just Lemurians split off. And they did this so they could spread their beliefs and teachings. This is when they established love and light and God consciousness. As a result of the revolt, the Anunnaki now need a new workforce. So they genetically engineer their own primitive slaves, known as humans. We began work for them and treated them as gods. Notice here, the ancient Sumerians actually depicted the Anunnaki oftentimes as eagles or a reptilian race with wings. And another race mistaken for Anunnaki, but they're Lemurian. Here would be a depiction of an Anunnaki being. See, we used eagles because we didn't realize what reptilians were yet. Here, hybrid alien, Lemurians. I have a theory that the Anunnaki were actually the Draconian race of aliens. Draconians are known to be more aggressive. They're known to be a warring faction. Captain K even said at one time that the Draconians were responsible for attacking the US while on Mars. This was as recent as the 80s or 90s. It is translated in ancient Sumerian writings that the Agigi are beings of light. It has also been translated that the younger race of Lemurians overthrow the Anunnaki and the Draconians, sending them to the underworld for their crimes. Next video, I'll tell you how it goes down. So my theory is the Anunnaki were actually the Alpha Draconian race. The Alpha Draconian species is actually a reptilian hybrid from outer space. They're considered hostile and highly dangerous, and they generally end up in war. According to the Sumerian tablets, the Igigi left the gold mines, and in place the Anunnaki created humans to work in them. And as soon as the Anunnaki actually successfully created these primitive beings called humans, they began attempting to create a hybrid race by breeding with human women. They tried many different scenarios, but they could not successfully breed from Anunnaki to our women. So eventually, they had a male from the human race breed with an Anunnaki female. The resulting hybrid was a female, and her name was Eve. This is important because it allowed Adam and the serpent to both breed with Eve. After the male human bred the Anunnaki female and got Eve, a whole new door for genetic modification opened. In the past, I've seen the Anunnaki actually represented using snakes. By creating Eve as a hybrid, it allowed the reptilians to be able to breed with her and Adam. This would result in them making a mark on our DNA for as long as we live. In the Bible, Cain and Abel are most talked about, but there's actually a third son, Seth. I believe Cain to be the son of the Anunnaki crossbreed or the reptilian race. This is why God actually favored Abel instead of Cain, because he knew Cain, based on his heritage, was bound to be evil. This actually turns out to be the case because Cain takes Abel into a field and murders him because he's the favorite. As a result of Abel's death, God blessed Eve with another son, Seth. And Seth the Lemurian continued. After Cain murders his own brother Abel just for sheer jealousy, God answers Eve's prayers and sends her Seth. Now Seth, I believe, could possibly be a Lemurian hybrid or an Atlantean human hybrid at the time. Though Adam is his father, there was a point where Adam and Eve were kicked off the island. And those of you that don't believe it, read this. Adam had up to 10 sons, Eve had up to 18 daughters. So without a doubt, there's going to be multiple variations of our species and different genetic makeups. During the entirety of this, the gold mines are up and kicking. But after a couple hundred years, they're starting to hear words of unrest among the people. After a while, they also grew tired of being slaves too. Slavery ends up being the issue that causes the nuclear war on Earth and the cataclysms. Continued. So there was eventually a lot of unrest between the alien factions on Earth because the Anunnaki wanted to enslave humans and Martians, where people like the Atlanteans and Lemurians thought all beings should have a chance to evolve and live on their own. That is the God-given right to people on the source energy. Lemurians were generally beings of light. Well, the Anunnaki or the Draconian race didn't agree, so they continued using slaves. Since the Draconians called their bluff, the Lemurians and Atlanteans fired nukes up to Mars's moons. Mars was the Anunnaki's midway point between Earth and Nibiru. Taking out Mars's moons caused instant chaos on the planet, forcing Martians underground. The nuke Nara 1 left a sheet of glass over the entire planet, drying up all its water sources. This crippled the Anunnaki, but eventually the fight would go back home to Earth.
Things that I've heard from people in the Pentagon, that the buzzword in the secret of secrets in the Pentagon is the Sumerian gods are returning, and that's what they're referring to as that whole area that Peter's.
Wow! Can you repeat that again, just in case anybody missed it? The buzzword
in the Pentagon, in the military circles that are in the know about the cover up here, they kind of in whispered tones talk about the return of the Sumerian gods. And they're talking about the what we would call aliens or fallen angels returning into the Middle East, into Old Sumer area.
The Anunnaki.
Well, could be.
Under the ancient names.
Giants. Do you think that has anything to do with why?
So, what do y'all think? Do you like my stance in this video? Do you agree, disagree? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious, as I said, to see what y'all got to say. Do you think that the Anunnaki are the Alpha Draconians? I got to hear from you guys. I appreciate y'all. Love you guys. Thanks for supporting me. You're the best. I got the best crew following me around. So Facebook, YouTube, y'all are my favorite. Thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you for all the support. And let's keep trucking on this. Let's keep enlightening each other and letting each other kind of bounce ideas off each other, and let's come to a conclusion on some of this stuff, right? So thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see y'all later.